Built a kick-ass product? Fantastic! Who are you selling it to? The world? What a guy! But you know what? The odds of your startup tanking just went up by 90%. Don't worry, we're gonna see what to do about that. Tam, Som and Sam come way before in your journey. Even before you start mapping out your ICP, your buyer persona, this is what you'll have to figure out first. But how do we do that? Your TAM is, well, the entire globe, the entire earth for us to sell, right? Unfortunately, that's when your SAM kicks in. Your SAM comes and tells you, hey, listen up, buddy. You will not be able to sell to the entire world. There are oceans out there. There's the Arctic pole, there's the Antarctic pole. So you're going to have to figure out which land masses you're going to sell to. Fine, fair enough. But now, your SOM, who is even more annoying, comes and tells you, listen, you cannot even sell to all of them. There are deserts, there are forests without humans. You will have to figure out if you're going to be selling to villages, metropolitan areas, cities. So at the end of the day, with that tiny bucket which you have is your SOM. Taking our homegrown favorite food ordering app Swiggy, now let's say they had competition all over the world, so they were going to target only India. Now, when we say India, we have a population of 1.3 billion in 2019, or rather stepping into 2020. But how many people will Swiggy be able to sell to? So that's their TAM, the entire population of India. But let's take your SAM. Now SAM comes and tells you, listen, not everyone in India can use Swiggy because not all of them might have an internet connection. Right, that's your basic criteria to figure out your SAM. Now, during the time of filming this video, there are around 350 million people who have internet connection.
500
D. Oh yeah, I forgot this Geo. Anyway, so which brings us to around 40% of where we originally started, right? Imagine from having 1.3 billion to just 500 million. Okay, but will we still be able to sell to all the 500 million? I'm afraid not. Now is when you start setting other proper criteria with which you can start filtering out people. So now, let's say people above the age of 50 might not use a smartphone or even internet services to that extent and are not open to ordering food on an app. You remove that segment. I mean, as in not remove, neglect, but to like broadly classify. Then you start taking demographics into consideration. You might not even be able to service certain parts of villages, or you will only be able to target urban areas. Let's say you target people with spending power. So after you start coming up with all these classifications, you're left with, let's say, 5 to 6% of the 1.3 billion. Wow. But this is what is going to save you. It doesn't matter. This is what you're going to get out of, and when you target and focus on them, you are going to be killing it. Right, Swiggy is Swiggy, but you know what my favorite Raju Anna down the lane who owns a tea stall does? So in my locality, there are around 5,000 people, and he sells nice hot budgies from 5 to 6 every day. Now the TAM here is the entire 5,000 people. He could be like, I'm going to be selling it to everyone. All of them are going to come buy from my store. Okay, but he knows that's not possible. Let's say he sells around 100 budgies every day. But he should be selling 5,000 if he's going to be selling to his entire TAM, right? Now your TAM is broken down to your SAM, your serviceable acquirable market. Forget the entire market. Who can you service to? Now, this could be people who are, let's say, coming back from work at 5. This could be people who are not health conscious, who do not have any condition, right? So that is your SAM. Let's say around 2000 people, because there are a lot of people who say, I do not want outside food. I don't want to have food which is not healthy. Fine, fair enough. Now, within this 2000 people, how many people are going to be able to pass by a store every day? He's not on any online app. He's a proper bhajiwala. So now you have to be crossing by a store to buy the bhaji. So these are the people who are actually on that street and that footfall. Now these guys are a serviceable, acquirable or obtainable market. And he's still happy selling it to all of them, because he knows that if he's going to be selling to 5,000 people, the quality of his bhajis are going to be bad. But now these 100 people have a mouth-watering experience and it's so good. So this way he's established his brand that from 5 to 6 he has some of the best bhajis in the area, and people will start coming to him. Get what's happening? One instance when you really need this data is when you're pitching to an investor. When they ask you who you're going to be selling to, you should have a solid, definite answer. I met Chandrasekhar Kuperi, who's an angel here in Chennai. He's the founder of Anova Corporate Services, and they were a part of Oyo's original journey as well in their nascent stages. And he told me, ladies and gentlemen, he told me that, so this is exactly what he told me, by the way. When he asks when he asks founders who they're going to be selling to, they tell him it's a billion people, I'm going to be selling to 1% of the market share, 2% of the market share. And he told me, "Ida ketu pulichu pochu," by which he meant, I'm sick and tired of hearing this over and over again. And when someone tells him this, they automatically lose credibility and he's almost already made up his mind. Do not do that. Make sure you have a bottom-up approach. Make sure you're a little more practical. It's very good to be optimistic. He told me that as well. He loves the energy from a founder, which is his X factor in investing. Oops, I probably should not have said that, but that is very important. But do not forget to always have a bottom-up approach. Talk about your SOM, your actual market, and how you're going to reach out to them. As you saw, it's that simple. It's as easy as that. Your TAM is pretty much everything. Your SAM is a little smaller version of your TAM. So the TAM is the one with the biggest ego. And your and your SOM, which is the smallest guy, but is ultimately the most powerful. He's the one who you're actually going to be selling to. So this pertains to any and every industry. So let's take retail, for example, B2C, right? So now let's say you're going to be selling to women. So now you've already classified your gender. So men and women, so all the women in the world are who you're going to be selling to. Now, what kind of dress are you stitching? Is it going to be targeting towards little kids? Is it going to be targeting towards elder women? Is it going to be mid-aged women? Is it going to be teenagers? So there are so many age classifications which you can make. And now, based on the ethnic demographic regions, once again you can further subdivide that. So this is for a retail industry. Now let's also take SaaS, for example. When you're coming up with a SaaS product, you're going to say it's the most scalable. You're going to be building for the entire world. Every business is going to be using your product. But what happens? Cold reality hits, my friend. So now what you do is you start understanding how much are you pricing your product at? Who are the actual people who are going to be requiring your product or service? So now let's say it's a company with 50 people, because let's say you're building a CRM. It's going to be people who will actually require customers. So in the beginning, they might just be going with Excel. Or if they're too big, your system might not be able to support them. So you start understanding who you're actually selling to, maybe with the spending power, maybe with the number of customers, and then you start mapping out your persona, saying you're going to be selling to the CXOs and things like that. If you're still sticking with me, you are going to be building the next big unicorn, my friend. I love you. This is yours truly, Kaushik here, and we saw about Tam, Sam and Som. In the next video, we're going to be seeing about how to build your ICP, your ideal customer profile or persona. So I'll see you then.
Let's
Karka
Kasadara! Loved what you just saw? Let all your friends know. Make sure you smash that like button, leave a comment for us down below, and hit on that subscribe button.
and don't forget to hit that bell icon to get updated with the rest of the world.